Okay guys, can I be real with you for a minute? I just spent 40 minutes trying to set up this camera so I can talk to you and so that you can kind of see my office, but not like this mess and not like this little area here where our trim's not done. But I can't do it. So this is it. This is me being real with you guys. This is what my office looks like. Okay, the purpose of this video is for me to show you my setup and do a review of this cloth and paper planner, cloth and paper planners, and my experience with cloth and paper. So we got a story. So if you want to go get a coffee, because this might take a minute, go get yourself a coffee, hit pause, come back to me. Okay, let's do this. So, if you follow me on Instagram, you will know that in November I put a post up saying that I was going back to rings for 2018, and I posted a picture of a cloth and paper personal size black quilted planner. This, obviously, is not personal size. This is where our story comes in. I ordered my cloth and paper planner at the end of November, around the 21st. I received it about the 3rd of December. Really quickly, you know, Christmas time, holiday, I opened it up, looked at it looked fine, put it on my desk, went to like go about my business. The next day, I went to go set it up. I had ordered some cloth and paper dividers and some inserts from Printables, which were beautiful, the inserts, and the dividers were nice. So when I went to look at the planner and open it up, I noticed that the planner had some flaws. It had some loose stitching. So I was kind of concerned about that because not only was there loose stitching, but the stitching on the quilting was really shallow on the planner. Like, it didn't create those nice deep quilted looks. So I emailed Cloth and Paper right away and said that my planner had flaws, and while I was waiting for a response, I noticed that there were some other quality issues that I really wouldn't have expected to have for the price of the planner, which was about a $100 planner. But, so I started to have some hesitation. I got a response back basically saying they don't take returns, but they would send me a replacement. And after quite a few emails back and forth, my understanding was that they would send me a return label, I could box up the planner, return it to them, and once that return was scanned into the system, my thought being the USPS system, that they would initiate the process of getting the replacement planner out to me. So I got the return label like the next day or that evening. The next day shipped my planner, so that would have been the 5th or so, and just waited. I never got any emails or any response with like a tracking number for a new planner or shipment for information with the replacement planner. So about the 9th, I went and checked and saw that my original return had been received on the 8th, and I think that was a Friday and the 9th was a Saturday. So I just shot off another email and was like, hey, I see that my return has been received. I never got any information on shipment for the replacement. The next day, I got an email back, and it wasn't the nicest. It basically was like, in a little, maybe I took it wrong, but it seemed snarky to me. They were like, sorry for the 1-day delay. Your planner is going out today. And I was kind of confused because I thought that the planner would go out when my return went into the USPS system. But maybe I was wrong, right? Because when I thought that's what they were doing, I was like, well, that's pretty good customer service. They know I'm returning it, so they're just gonna get my replacement right out to me. Now, I wasn't totally like, that's unrealistic customer service, because I had a flaw with my Maybooks folio and they sent me a new one before I even returned the original one. They even said to me, wait till you get the new one and compare them and keep the one you like better. Granted, much bigger company, Cloth and Paper is pretty small. So, okay, that was the 9th. I got that email and they sent me tracking information. I waited and waited, the 12th, 13th, 14th, no tracking updates. So I emailed again. I say, when should I be concerned that my tracking isn't updating for this planner? It takes a while to get a response. Now granted, you guys, I know it's the holidays, everybody's busy. They're probably swamped because they're pretty popular and the goods that they're pushing out look really good. And I have to say, I'm gonna give them kudos. Seriously, their aesthetic and their forward-thinking design is exactly what I'm looking for in a planner. Exactly what I'm looking for. And I would be a die-hard customer, really, if I hadn't had this experience that's making me iffy. So finally, on the 18th, the replacement planner comes. I'm like, okay, good. So I open it up immediately, like I'm checking it out, right? It has flaws that are far worse, in my opinion, than the original one I returned. So the stitching is not necessarily loose. It still has some loose stitches, but I'll insert some pictures. When I open the planner like this, you know, like a flat, the leather on the planner wrinkles like you wouldn't believe. Again, I will put pictures in. So at this point, I'm like, no way. Do I have this horrible of luck? Because in the meantime, over the period of this, whatever, week, I'm like searching. All the Instagram photos of their planners look, I mean, they look perfect. And I can't find any reviews, which is why I'm doing this. So I go on a very large planner Facebook group that I'm part of, and I post my pictures and I say, am I crazy? Does anybody have any experience with these planners? Here's what's going on. Has anybody like dealt with this? So everybody in the group who sees my post is like, no, I get their subscription boxes. They're beautiful and I love everything. And I've never bought their planners. I've never bought their planners. So, but I start to notice people are like tagging people. Now this group is known for some drama. So I'm like, are they tagging people because like somebody's had issues and I don't know? Or are they tagging people like, ooh, this might be drama? Like I wasn't trying to start drama. I was legitimately trying to understand, was it just me? Did I just have bad luck? So I email, and at this point I've been emailing back and forth with 2 people. Ashley directly has been emailing with me, which I think she's like the designer, the main owner, or she runs Cloth and Paper. And then Chloe, who is someone who just works maybe as administrator or something there. And I'm like, guys, like this one's worse. And I show them the pictures, which everybody who I show in this Facebook group is like, yeah, that's terrible. And people are actually telling me what the problem is. Like the tension is wrong on the quilting. That's what's causing this. Like they know, like people who are seamstresses or know things about planners, they're like, it's unacceptable. The tension's just all wrong. That's why this is like this. And I send the same pictures to Ashley and she's like, I'm not understanding what the problem is. I don't see it. Am I not seeing it on the picture? So I don't know if there was just a terrible miscommunication or that's what was to be expected. But at this point, I have been now looking in the pre-loved market and watching tons of reviews on eBay, on YouTube, on YouTube to see if someone has one of these planners and I can see an unboxing and if this is happening for them. And I run into someone who's got an A5 and I'm like, oh, I wanted the A5 anyway. So I just shoot her a message and I was like, if you ever want to part with this, you know, and she's like, yeah, no, totally. Like I am using a different planner. She sends it to me, a pre-loved one, and I get it and it doesn't have those problems. It doesn't have any loose stitching. It does wrinkle some when I open it like this, but not an unexpected amount, not like the one that I got. So what's up? Did Cloth and Paper maybe change their vendor or their manufacturer for their planners? Does anybody have the personal one and it's like perfect? I want to know. I'm really curious. Did I just have that bad of luck? Or what? I don't know. But all that aside, like I said, I have some love with some hesitation, right? Look, Cloth and Paper, they're doing it. Their planners, they're aesthetic. Look at this thing. It's beautiful. If you look at the designs of the inserts that she's doing, that she posts on Instagram, I mean, they look phenomenal. They're beautiful. Will I order them? I'm not sure. I'm not sure because of this experience that I had. I feel like the email exchanges I had back and forth, some of them were pleasant and some of them were not. And did they stand behind their product because I didn't take no for an answer and I didn't back down? Or did they stand behind their product because they saw a flaw? You know, hard to say, hard to say. And look, hey, Cloth and Paper, if you're watching this, some of what you're doing, oh my God, it's beautiful. It is exactly what I want. I want minimalistic, classy, fashion-forward designs that what you're doing is what it looks like, amazing. I just feel like this could have been handled a little better. I really do. But let me say this. This A5 one that I got, which is, this one's like a year old based on the unboxing. This one is good. This one is good, you guys. Like, the stitching is nice. The quilting is nice and deep. One of the problems I had with the personal one is like my magnet, like for here, it would not stay closed. And this magnet was smooth and it was really shallow. But let me see if, I don't know if this can get, see, this one has a little bit of texture and like it sits in there and it does not, the other one, seriously, you guys, if I would go like this, it would come right open. And I was like, oh, I'm not really happy about that. But you know, I'm used to having like my Louis Vuitton snapped closed or whatever. So, but look, like this one is good. Like it is a serious, listen, like it's a serious closure. I don't know. I don't know. If you have dealt with Cloth and Paper and you've had a totally different experience, leave me a comment. If you've had a similar experience, leave me a comment. But anyway, that's my story time. So let's, let me turn this camera around and let's get down to business and let's check out the setup. Okay, so here it is. This is the A5 Cloth and Paper planner. And so like I said, the quilting on this one is really nice. It does have some wrinkling when it opens, but it is not as bad. I'm going to show you. So just here on the spine where the other one had wrinkling here and like this wrinkling on the spine went way over. So, okay, so let's talk about my setup. My pockets, I just have, if you follow me on Instagram, you'll know too that one of my big focuses for 2018 is to focus on my possessions, especially my wardrobe, because I have worked in retail for a really long time, on and off, and I love clothes and I love shoes, but I've kind of like gone totally off the rails. So I kind of am like focusing on creating a capsule wardrobe and narrowing down what I own to pieces that I love, are classic, all go well with each other. I'll do a whole nother video on that. So like this is kind of like a reminder to me of that, of what I'm going for, one of my main goals. So my dividers are just dividers that I made, just black cardstock, and then I had this gold label paper, so I just went ahead and labeled them. Like I have schedule, finances, wardrobe, notes, and then projects. So I want to show you guys, I had ordered these for the personal Cloth and Paper planner, and I didn't get to use them, but I loved them. So Crossbow Printables on Etsy has these amazing, amazing layouts. At least to me, they're perfectly styled minimalistic, and they come like a whole pack of what you would use to set up your planner. So it's got this yearly sheet, first and foremost, like with the year at a glance calendars. And then it has at a glance 6 months per page here to like write anniversaries, birthdays, you know, however you want. And then it's got this great section here for yearly goals. And it's got like goals for like 2 pages, and then it's got a breakdown like the category the goals are in, and then there's 4 bullet points here. So I did like person, and I want to work on my health and do personal growth and mindfulness. And for this category, I wrote possessions, and here, like I was talking about doing that, curated wardrobe, and then financial. I'm kind of like linking these two together, where if I'm smart, and then I set up one for faith, I'm sorry. And then, so here, it was like, if I'm smart with my possessions, that's going to play right into my financial goals too, which is like paying off debt and just upping my savings and kind of like being smart about those things. And then it even has like a quarterly breakdown for those goals. What are you going to do to meet them? So like January through March, April through June, July through September, and then October through December. You can just set like kind of like the next tier down of what you're going to do to work on those goals. So that was part of the printables. And then I have, so here in my schedule section, I just have some tab tops for my monthlies just to break down the months. So for every, and I did kind of go over this in my Instagram stories. So if you follow me on Instagram, you might have seen some of this, but this is what it looks like. So like, again, it's got a really nice, clean, minimalistic look, but like this is the cover page for January. So there's the month. It's got a little quote. This one is a Mark Twain quote that says, "The secret to getting ahead is getting started." And then down here, it says make or break habit tracker. And then it's got like 30 circles to fill in for your habits for that month. So like here's my habits are like doing intermittent fasting, 16/8 intermittent fasting, reading, and 10,000 steps a day. So that is the cover. And then it breaks down to a month on 2 page immediately following with, you know, your basic month on 2 page layout, and then space here for goals, and then space here for for task list to-dos. And then for the week on 2 page, I'm going to just like go to an empty one so you can get a better feel for what it looks like. It's got this little box here. It's got the like days going across, which I am very much a vertical, up and down, vertical, kind of like Erin Condren. Like this is the way my brain thinks now. This is the best way for me to plan versus horizontal. So it's got the vertical week on 2 page with this grayed out box, which is like a great place to put like a daily goal or a daily gratitude or like your top 3. It's got a spot for notes, and then it's got a spot for like important things. It still has tasking and to-dos here and goals here. So that's really, really nice. I printed it out on bright white. I want to say it's 26-pound paper, and I have the whole year in here now. It's pretty thick, and the pages you'll see like they're a little hard to turn just because it's so full in the rings. But I really, really, really am impressed with these printables. And I printed these as a printable, but I did order, let me see if I can grab them. So when I was originally going to do the personal size, I did order their personal ones pre-printed. And this is the layout that I ordered for these. Was a week on 2 page, and it's got this week's goals and to-dos, and then it's got like the days going across here, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and it's still got a space here for notes, a space here, excuse me, a space here for habits, and then like, you know, you could just write a little quote or something you want to focus on or something important you need to remember. And I would say the weight of this paper is a little bit better than this 26-pound paper that I printed mine on. The directions that they include for printing your own inserts, like I always get frustrated, right? To do a double-sided print, I always get frustrated. I'm always like, I would much rather pay for them than to try and print them myself. But I feel like the paper that they use is so good. And the instructions that they included for me to print my own totally eliminated the hesitation I had. I was able to figure it out pretty quickly in getting all these printed. So, okay, and so let me just show you. At the end of the month, in their printables here, this says the wins, and there's 5 little squares here. So like, what did you accomplish? There's a space for gratitude, and here it says to work on, and here it says next month. So if you follow me on Instagram, you'll know that like at the end of every month in my bullet journal, I was kind of like doing this, like what worked, what didn't work. And then I was like kind of telling myself what I could improve on for the next month. So I love that this page is included. It reminds me a little bit of the Happy Planner, like how it's got that like monthly summary. Yeah, I really love that. So Crossbow Printables, I will link to them down below. I would say like these I ordered and they shipped to me, like super fast shipping. The quality was great. So if you want to get them already printed, totally worth it. I think their paper quality is good. I tested it with my pens. If you know, you'll know that I use these Faber-Castell, these Artist Pitt felt tip pens, which these are great, but I also sometimes use these Le Pens, this black Le Pen, and these have a tendency to bleed on some papers. Or ghost, and on the quality of this paper, I didn't have any of that. Like on my pen tests, they worked great. So yeah, again, it's Crossbow Printables. I will link to their Etsy shop, but love it. And if you choose to print them on your own, don't be intimidated by it, because I will say that like I normally, like I said, don't like to print them. And I think that the instructions they included made it much simpler. So, okay, so the first section in my planner there then is just the schedule with all of those with my printables. And then the next thing is finances, and I'm doing one of these savings challenges where you save like $20, $30, $20, $40 like a week, and it's like $1,380 at the end of the year. So I always think I'm going to do this, and then I never do. But I'm trying to do 2 things, like with my wardrobe pare down, and then the extra funds like from selling things on say eBay or things like that, then that's going to go into this savings tracker. So now the next section I have is wardrobe. Again, if you follow me on Instagram, you've seen this. This was my inspiration photo. Now, will my closet ever look like this? Probably not, because like, first of all, that closet is gorgeous and my closet doesn't look like that. I'm actually going to insert a picture of my closet so you guys can see what I'm starting with right here. Okay, so this is my inspiration, and then I just created this little cover page for it, and it just says, with good basics, you'll have endless options. And then what I did is I found some printables, and I will link to them. I believe it was Peanut Planner Company, and they were these really cool printables that have this section, like 2-page printable that's got like this fold out, and then it has like this page with the this page with the vertical boxes. My brain just is not working as fast as I can talk. So again, if you follow me on Instagram, you'll know that in my bullet journal, I was doing something like this where I took some pieces from my wardrobe and I created stickers out of them, and then I was like kind of like putting together outfits. So what I did is, in conjunction with these printables, I have looked online, and there's a couple things. One of them is called Project 33, the 333 Project. And then like Capsule Wardrobe. There's so much information online about these things, you guys. So Capsule Wardrobes and the 333 Project. And basically it talks about narrowing down your wardrobe. In the 333 Project, it's 33 items every 3 months. And so it's kind of like a challenge to choose 33 items every 3 months and then see how you can utilize them best. Basically, I took a mix of that and like capsule wardrobing, and I went and thought there's some other resources. I'm going to do a whole video on this, so there's some other resources. But I took a mix of that and capsule wardrobing, and I went and picked out some pieces that I know I really love, and I've started to go through my closet and limit myself to like those pieces. Everything else I boxed up, and I plan on keeping in a box for 3 months, and if I don't open it and don't reach for it. It will just get donated. Some of the pieces I've decided to just go ahead and sell. Like I had some LuLaRoe stuff, which I liked, but it really wasn't me. So off it goes. So if you want to see some more information on this, including some resources and basically where I will go over a little bit more exactly how I'm using these printables and this layout to like plan my wardrobe, then I encourage you to just stay tuned. I'm going to make a video on that and I will get that up as soon as possible. Okay, so the next section I have in my planner is just a section for notes. And I just have a little reminder to myself here. Like I know a lot of people do one little word, but like when I started thinking about what I want to do for like my theme for the year and my resolution, it was more a well-curated life. And by that, I don't mean well-curated, it looks good on Instagram, but it's not real. I mean, I want to have a very intentional and thoughtful look at the way I do everything in my life and kind of like minimize my possessions and as a big part of that and make sure that I'm choosing wisely, which I have a tendency to like kind of go overboard. I find something I like aesthetically and I just go crazy and like get 5 colors of this item that's maybe super trendy and it's just not worthwhile. So the last section in my planner is just a section for projects and I just have, again, like some tab top dividers in here. Okay, so a couple of things I want to show you while we're looking at these cloth and paper, while we talk about this cloth and paper planner is, I noticed in people who were using this on their Instagram photos, there were these indentations from the rings, and that is definitely like a real thing. I can feel the board that this leather is kind of wrapped around, and that indentation from the rings. Now, a lot of people are going to say, oh, your planner's too full, and this was a pre-loved one. Yes, my planner is full. But my Filofaxes have been just as full and I don't get this. But I think this has to do with like the board that's in here, the weight of it, and then just the pressure of the rings sitting on there creating an indentation. So that's a real thing that happens. Not something I can't live with, but it's definitely noticeable. So there is like just a little bit of buckling here too. I don't know if you can see that. And that is just the leather stretching on that board underneath. And then I did show you the pictures, and so you won't be surprised, but this wrinkling, it totally does happen. Is that a quality issue? Is that something that could be avoided? I don't know. I don't know about how this quilting process works. But yeah, that is something that really happens. The mechanism, the ring mechanism is fine. It's a little bit small. I would compare this to my Filofaxes, but if you guys follow me, you also know that I de-ringed all my Filofaxes when I was doing like traveler's notebooks. So anyway, there's a look at what my setup is. If you have questions, if you want to see more of something aside from the wardrobe thing, just, let me know. I'd be happy to like kind of show you. So now you know what my experience was with cloth and paper. Again, I'm going to say that the look, the aesthetic of this planner is exactly what I would have wanted. The quality for the price of them, I'm iffy on that. Will I buy more from cloth and paper? Again, I'm not sure. But it does look beautiful, and I do think her design aesthetic, like what she's going for with her inserts, and I will say the dividers I got, they were nice. They were basically a heavyweight textured, probably heavier, slightly heavier than cardstock, with the foil, like theirs had the foil months on it. I returned all of that just because of the experience that I had. So I see stuff she's designing, like there's some new releases coming out on the 18th of January, and I like them, but there's a part of me that just hesitates to order them. So I would love to hear what your experiences are with cloth and paper. But in the meantime, there you go. There's my story. There's my setup. If you have any questions, just leave them below. I will link to the Crossbow Printables. I will link to the exact one I have in here, and then I will also link to the one that is this personal one. I highly recommend them, and I've used lots of inserts, and I will say that like the style is great for minimalistic. The fonts are nice. The quality is nice. either way, either the ones you're going to print at home or the ones you could buy from them pre-printed. So hope this was helpful. Thanks for watching. Sorry it's been so long between videos, but I want you guys to hear my story, and there wasn't much about these cloth and paper planners previously, so I wanted to make sure that I was contributing my experience with them. Thanks again, you guys. Happy planning, and I hope you guys have a great 2018.